Alright, pardon the rain. It's a little loud, but I went on a ride earlier today and have these new Magura brakes on it, and it's really great. They are super powerful. I matched these with the 203 Magura rotor, which is a little bit thicker. I figured to put fresh pads on a fresh rotor would be optimum braking power. Got that on there. This little adapter kind of was a little small for these brakes, or for the rotor at least, I guess, so I had to add these little spacers in there just to push it out a little bit, because the outside of the rotor was rubbing on the inside of the metal part of the Magura brakes. But yeah, I have the MT5s on the front, 4 pistons, really powerful, and then I have the 2-piston MT4s on the rear, and no special rotor, it's just a 180 rotor on there. And getting them, I did have to shorten the tube. You can see my tube routing on the outside is not the sexiest, but it does the trick. I pretty much just measured the tubes of the previous brakes I had on here and kind of just cut it accordingly. I did make sure that it was still about the right length, but yeah, it's really great. It came out nice. Cutting the tubes was really a pain just because I'd never done it before, but I ordered them with all the little pieces in the box, which worked out well. Just kind of had to unloosen the little adapter here, pull out the tube, snip it, add a little olive, as they call it, and then I just YouTubed all that and then put it back in. And I didn't have a brake bleeding kit, so you have to really be careful of not losing any fluid and getting any bubbles in there. So luckily I got away with that. Yeah, just really happy with the power. I went down pretty steep hills today, didn't feel any fade going down using heavy front brakes. It was great. The way that these mount on the handlebars are even better, because now this pedal assist buttons kind of overlap over it, and so therefore my thumb is really easily accessible to the up and down buttons. Got my throttle, then my brakes, and then the buttons there. Got the Bafang little screen, and on this side I have the dropper post, and followed by the shifter, and then the brakes. And yeah, I'll just use one finger on the levers and feel very confident now, so that's pretty nice. I also used these were cheap, I got them, it's like a cutoff sensor. I double-sided sticky taped it right here on the bottom, and then there's a little magnet that's kind of just zip tied onto the lever, and you can see there that it is pretty ghetto, but it works pretty well. If you move the lever, then it gets away from the sensor there. So when it's close, it lets the motor run. When it goes away from it, then it shuts the motor off. So it works well. The Magura does have a lever that you can buy, or the whole brake system that has a built-in switch that has a wire that comes out for e-bikes specifically, and then that connector isn't compatible with the Bafangs, but apparently you can splice it or hack it so that you can use the Bafangs. Really something that I would like to do, but it's also a lot more expensive to order a whole new lever or the e-bike specific versions of these, so I just went with the I think it was $15 hack, and looks ghetto, but who's ever gonna notice that? And you know, it works, so that's what I went with. Would like to figure out a way to really minimize these wires somehow. Probably get like a little bag or something to put on the frame down here maybe. It's just too bad. It's kind of one of the things you get with a motor of this sort that's just built for, you know, multiple different types of frames. I would really love to get rid of this display. The display is way too big and too distracting and annoying, and I never use it other than just looking at my speed or distance, but you got to use it in order to have this switch, and you got to have the switch in order to use the motor for the controller. So hopefully there's possibly like a smaller version of this I'm going to look into, but I have no idea, because I would rather just be able to see, you know, my cool little stem there, or, you know, just it's just an eyesore really. I prefer the minimalistic look of a e-bike, but yeah, it's really coming together, really fun. I feel super confident on it. It's hitting a little jump. I'm not a big dirt jumper, but hitting a pretty small jump and getting some radical air on it today. So you know, maybe I'll make a video of that sometime. Let me know if you have questions. Sorry about the rain sound. It's starting to come down here. Pretty crazy.